I want to bring in Paul Rakoff, who's the founder and CEO of Independent Veterans of America, host of the Independent Americans podcast, and someone who has, through his service and his advocacy, been a leading voice on civil-military relations for some time now. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
What about this speech was traditional under the rules, and what departed from the rules? Just starting there.
Nothing about it was traditional. The entire thing is unprecedented. We didn't gather all our senior military leaders after 9/11, so there is no precedent for this. And I think that's really important to frame what is the latest step in the removal of the guardrails that protect the politicization of our military. I've said for weeks, and especially right now, the most important story in America and in the world is that Donald Trump can do whatever he wants with the greatest military the world has ever seen. That includes bombing Iran. That includes hitting ships off the coast of Venezuela. It includes sending troops into American cities, now like Portland. And it includes bringing together over 800 generals from around the world for what turned into a very overtly inappropriate, unacceptable political speech that was bookended by kind of a culture war TED Talk from Pete Hegseth, who is hollow, who is fragile. And I think it was a very deep low point, not just for our military, but for our democracy.
And the president, let me ask you, the president says, oh, you can applaud if you want to and agree.
Right.
But that's not what the military rules say.
Right. And I think if there's a silver lining, the discipline and military bearing of the generals in that room is it. They did not applaud. They held their bearing. Most of them didn't want to be there and know this is inappropriate and unacceptable. They showed up and they spoke volumes with their silence. But there's an important point here. They got what they wanted. Trump and Hegseth got what they wanted, which was the content and the giant photo op. The audience was not the generals in the room. The audience was the American public.
Right.
The audience was the world. And what the message was is, I have total control of the military. This is the latest example of a power flex.
Let me give you another part to fact check from your knowledge base when he went partisan on what he calls the radical left.
We won every swing state. We won the popular vote. We won everything. We won everything. You have to take a look at the map. It's almost entirely red, except there's a little blue line on each coast, and I think that's going to disappear too. But he had no clue. The people that ran the office, the White House, were people that surrounded him, radical left lunatics. A lot of these insurrectionists are paid by, whether it's Soros or other people, but they're paid by the radical left.
It's false. It's dangerous. It's also dishonorable. I think what was revealed today, you could feel it in his unease with being in a room like that. He's not used to having folks not fawn all over him. Hegseth, too, even at the end, there was a moment where I almost felt like Hegseth was going to have a conscience moment, right, where he could realize how poorly his message was being received. But I think it's an important reminder to America that our military leaders are nonpartisan. They have held the line in the past. General Milley and others are the best examples. But we are deep in uncharted territories. And he is telegraphing his punches. He is on plan. He said he's going to do this. He said he's going to deploy troops domestically. And he's doing it. And I think the question for the Republicans and the Democrats is, what are you going to do to stop it? Because he's told you Portland, he's saying Chicago, he's saying New York. He literally has a scoreboard, and he's lining up the pieces to take the next step.
Yeah, and you're speaking very clearly about what that threat is. He's talking about abusing power domestically, but it is also the threat from within from the commander-in-chief. You're saying take it seriously. I want to play for you when he talks also about how to use the troops. You're staying with me. We have our shortest break, 90 seconds. Paul Rakoff. Paul.
And it's not limited to domestic operations. I mean, he's hit multiple countries. He's hit Yemen, Iran, and Venezuela. He's talked about hitting Mexico. There's reports that a Navy SEAL operation was conducted in 2019 in North Korea. This can go much further. Again, he has total control of the most powerful military on the planet. And I think the manipulation of the threat is very important, because there is a very real threat to our national security from domestic terrorism. It comes from the left and from the right. It's real, but it's not woven into his political enemies, which is a very crafty and dangerous manipulation that also tremendously undermines that trust in our troops. The worst mission you can give an American soldier, in my view, is not going to the Middle East. It's not going to fight terrorists. It's putting us in the middle of civil unrest in Portland, in Chicago, in Los Angeles. And that's nothing that people want to sign up for except culture warriors. And that's what Bill is talking about. Is very appropriate. The narrowing of the military, the purging on top, the reduction of the pool that you're recruiting from is creating Trump's military.
Yeah.
That's always been the worst course of action.
Now, Bill.